Chapter 4. So I had learned a second fact, that the little prince's planet was a little bit larger than a house. But that did not really surprise me much. And also, there are hundreds of small planets. Those planets are hard to see using a telescope. When a space scientist discovers a small planet, he does not give it a name, but only a number. I believe that the little prince came from a small planet named B612. This is a small planet discovered by a Turkish space scientist through a telescope. The space scientist had presented it to other scientists, but he was wearing Turkish clothes, so nobody would believe what he said. A Turkish absolute ruler made a law. His law was that everyone must wear European clothes. So in 1920, the space scientist gave his presentation again. He was in a suit, European dress, so everybody accepted his report. If I have told you these details about the small planet, it is because of the men and their ways. When you tell them that you have made a new friend, they never ask you, what does his voice sound like? What games does he love best? Instead, they ask you, how old is he? How many brothers has he? How much does he weigh? They think they have learned anything about him from numbers. If you said to the grown-ups, I saw a beautiful house made of red brick with flower pots in the windows, they could not get any idea of that house. You would have to say to them, I saw a house that cost $20,000. Then they would shout, oh, what a pretty house that is. If you might say to them, the fact that the little prince existed is that he was lovely and he was looking for a sheep, they would treat you like a child. But if you said to them, the planet he came from is B612, then they would believe it. They are like that, but you shouldn't blame them. Children should always show great patience to them. I should have liked to begin this story as a fairy tale. I should have liked to say, once upon a time, there was a little prince who lived on a planet and wanted a sheep. To those who understand life, that would have given more truth to my story. I don't want anyone to read my book lightly. 6 years have already passed since my friend went away with his sheep. I try to make sure that I shall not forget him. To forget a friend is sad, and if I forget him, I may become like the grown-ups who love figures. That is why I have bought a box of paints and some pencils. It's hard to start drawing again at my age. I've not made any pictures except the boa snake since I was 6. I shall surely try to make pictures as true as possible, but I am not at all sure of success. I make some errors too, in the little prince's height. In one place he is too tall, and in another too short. So I draw step by step as best I can, and I hope it will look normal. I shall make mistakes on important details, but that is something that will not be my fault. My friend never explained anything to me. He thought that I was like himself, but I'm not. I can't see sheep through the box. Maybe I'm a little like the grown-ups. Chapter 5. As each day passed, I would learn something about the little prince's planet. The information would come very slowly. It was then that I heard on the third day about the problem of the baobabs. Once again, I thanked the sheep. For the little prince asked me quickly, "Is it true that sheep eat little bushes?" "Yes, that is true." "Ah, I am glad." I did not understand why it was so important that sheep should eat little bushes, but the little prince added, "Then they also eat baobabs?" I pointed out to the little prince that baobabs were not little bushes, and even if he took away all the elephants, they would not eat a single baobab. The idea of all the elephants made the little prince laugh. "We would have to put them one on top of another," he said. But he made a wise comment. "Before they grow so big, the baobabs start out by being little." "That is correct," I said. "But why do you want the sheep to eat the little baobabs?" He answered me directly, Seriously?" And I had to make a great mental effort to solve this problem without any help. There were, on the planet where the little prince lived, good seeds from good plants and bad seeds from bad plants. But seeds are hidden. They sleep deep in the earth, then the little seed will stretch itself and begin to push charming little leaves upward to the sun. But when it's a bad plant, it should be destroyed as soon as possible. Now there were some bad seeds on the little prince's planet, and these were the seeds of the baobab. The planet ground was filled with them. Baobab is a plant that you will never be able to remove if you know it's too late. It drills through the planets with its roots. And if the planet is too small, the baobabs are too many. They split it into pieces. "It is a question of making a habit," the little prince said to me later. "When you finished your own toilet in the morning, then it is time to think about your planet. When they can be identified from the rose bushes, you must pull up regularly all the baobabs. Baobabs and rose bushes look similar in their earliest youth. It is very boring work, but very easy." And one day he said to me, "You should draw for children where you live, so they can see exactly how all this is. The baobab problem should not delay until another day. That always means a disaster. I knew a planet that a lazy man lived on. He ignored 3 little bushes. So I have made a drawing of that planet. I don't like to talk like a moral person, but there are too few people who know the dangers of baobabs. So I am making an exception this one time. Children, I say clearly, watch out for the baobabs. I have worked so hard over this drawing. My friends, it is to warn people of hidden dangers. The lesson in my drawing is worth it. Perhaps you will ask me, why aren't other drawings as good as this baobab? The answer is simple. I have tried, but I couldn't make it. When I made the drawing in the baobabs, I was very focused on drawing it because of its importance. Chapter 6. O little prince, bit by bit, I came to understand the secrets of your sad little life. For a long time, I have found your only fun is looking at the sunset. On the fourth day, I learned that new detail when you said to me, I really love sunsets. Let's go look at the sunset. But we must wait, I said. Wait for what? For the sunset. At first, you seemed to be surprised. Then you laughed to yourself and said to me, I think that I am at home. Everybody knows that when it is noon in the United States, it is sunset in France. If you could fly to France in 1 minute, you can see the sunset. But for the little prince, it is easy to see the sunset. He can see the sunset if he just moves his chair a few steps. One day, you said to me, I saw the sunset 44 times. And then, when I am so sad, I love to look at the sunset. Were you so sad at that time? I asked. But the little prince didn't answer.